Yeah, so like I maybe not the very important right now as well like the public is being a black topic sympathy towards like the group of the cheerful group of like Nancy, Lucy, Elsa, and Greg and Happy. And those different thing that being solely due to like them being part of like the fairy tale kid Mrs. Girl like and those different things. It might totally have to do with my personal impression that might totally have to do with like a fairy tales member that and about the putting it to not just be any fairy tale still member like I was bring with the master himself like master macro and those different so that they might have died by the ambush attack like personally totally putting master macro might have that was followed by himself and as he might have only been assassinated by one of like the villainous Starfleet members, like one of the extremely strong, powerful Starfleet, or like a group of like powerful and strong Starfleet might have teamed up and ganged up against and they really might have launched an ambush attack against like Macro when Macro might have head out and what might have been all by himself, especially in the Grenation. So they might have set up some sort of a trap and basically Martha Nambro might have head out and basically fall by himself and might have really fell for it and basically that way the Raptors might have definitely taken Master Macros like it's definitely not the emergence. This might be the reason for like right now then the crowd looking at crowd looking at the athletes sympathy towards like Nathan Pro right now. It's definitely not the reason. So like I'm looking like for a cheer for Nathan Pro like totally noticing like the crowd looking at acting totally different and looking at them with in a different differently. So like I was to bring that to and so I just that only asking them what's the matter like and then to bring none of them definitely not having like the having like the courage to like reveal about like matter of stuff to them. So like I was different Nancy and Lucy might totally, and maybe in Korea as well might totally let us slide. But like on the different start only sensing something around with like something around and necessarily having to do with like the fairy tale bit. So like I'm going to bring up most likely like maybe like the different start only threatening in like that's like one thing that I'm listening and that's not only referring to like quickly like that's not only feeling her sense of like only acting bad that's like something bad has happened by the reaction of the public to us well. So like that's not only straight away charming straight to open towards the parents guilt based and finding out about like macros and like one positive that I'm just bring or like I'm just bring or only noticing like the crowd acting differently towards them like basically us not only like like that's us still feeling like something is wrong, something has happened, and basically after that only threatening like the one of like the crowd people, and basically then one of them basically like solely to like us approaching them, like one of them like totally revealing to that advice also that basically nothing about like on metro step like basically that being like that ultimate shock for like for who is totally might have definitely only seen like macro as like his father figure especially after like having like lost having no idea of like the whereabouts of like especially after having like Igneel like missing for which will be well Igneel might have only gone missing for like a great number of years by now especially like so so like since then, like when Natu was a child that had joined like the Caribbean, like since then I'm just bring Natu to learn about like maybe genuinely seeing like Master Natu as just like father figure. So like that Naka also that would be the intentions and as well an extreme job for like Natu as well as like the Afghan Grey as well as like Lucy, but like it being like the biggest shock from like Natu than more than them. So little like him seeing like having seen like Naka almost like that other figure based on this much is definitely my particular impression as for like the scenario right now. Okay, so like the name of the particular impression here now as what the destruction of like, the parentage children, especially by due to like mysterious dark massive weapons like about the rings that would definitely attention to like the dark behind being behind of that attack. So my personal prediction is definitely my personal prediction and also, my personal understood that like in that and that attack would be like those weapons might be like a remote projectile like weapon, which might have been sent precisely with like precise precisely targeted at like the right. which might those weapons might have been probably sent from like a far away distance, but like with like some sort of like extremely high power, like special magic, while precisely targeting like the fairy skill based from like far away distance. It's definitely might be very version and might have been precisely done by some the leader of like some exceptionally maybe just by the leader or like by the leader and who of like some exceptionally strong task skill is definitely might go into great impression and in that attack like definitely it might not just be like a failure skill based on that might have gotten destroyed but like in that attack and the bring master macro being like the master of like the failure skill might have where that attack might have taken place. Like while that attack took place, my person there understood that like Macro being like the master like he had like that absolute response. He felt that as he might have only felt that as being complicated, but like it was like end up of like his spirited crew members and guild members. So like I'm considering while that attack might have been taking place, like Macro might have been like desperately trying to like save each and every single member of like the failed guild in like the base and considering that loss, like I'm considering even though Macro might have uh, finally succeeded like saving each and every single member of like the fairy like guild, like but like by the time Macro might have saved like the last member of the fairy guild, like I'm considering like that final weapon attack might have landed on hypothetically macro and macro might have definitely died. It's definitely the hypothetical. So like macro alone might have definitely died. The after macro alone might have definitely died, while all the remaining members of the security team, even after this like extremely dangerous attack might have definitely survived. It's definitely hypothetical essence. And so like my particular remembrance that like this attack on like the fairy tale skill base like the attack might have only been at the attack that was that might have only targeted like the fairy tale skill and it's like the kill numbers alone. It's definitely not a convention. None of like the other circles might have definitely not the been attack. Definitely not the enemy. It was just like precisely the fairy tale skill alone that was targeted in this attack. It's definitely not a convention. It might have to do mainly have to do with like my consider that would probably have to do with like the retail skill by now repeatedly having like destroyed like the multiple plans of like multiple plans and goals of like multiple dark kills for like multiple times like basically this repeated like destroying of like the plans and goals of like the dark kills might not probably brought across like the dark kills to probably like stronger dark kills within to like probably take like the give the attention and priority to like the destruction of like the predator skills and kind of why how this attack might have happened and the predator skills might have potentially been targeted is definitely my open theory and pressure. Also like the bigger impressions and like Federer, you definitely will be having like absolutely no role at all to play in this place attack and like current attack that's like that has precisely that really precisely might have only targeted like the fairy skill. You know, was definitely designed the skill numbers and was definitely my positive generation and it would be solely the basically retaliation or like prevention for like the fairy tale skill in like for instance having like multiple times like basically obstructed and destroyed like the villainous plans of like the Darkin in retaliation and like to get revenge precisely targeting like the characters till like the Darkin might have the bunch of strong Darkness or like one of like the strong Darkness might have precisely launch this attack perfectly targeting the characters to get revenge and this attack would have absolutely even though that Sacred has uncovered only protect man percentage that Sacred that immediately having connection to like darkness, but still like Sacred behind this attack on like the red left skill base like the Sacred will be having like absolutely no role at all to play. It might be it would definitely be like an attack a revenge like vengeful attack on like the first skill launched by like the strong artist independently without having like any without a sidetrain having anything to do with this. This is definitely my passenger impression. Okay, so like definitely my passenger impression, I know that like Phantom would definitely be either one among like the strong starters or like I'm talking one among like the very strong starters who that you see like by the name Phantom. This definitely my passenger and that like the British skills might have definitely cross paths with and might have fought against in like might have destroyed their plans as well might have fought against like the Phantom Dark Guild in like the Slim past multiple times maybe in like the Slim past, especially when and Natsu might have definitely been present there during that whole fight that against like this Phantom Dark Guild that might have happened in like the Slim past is also definitely my positive. So like this would be like the first reason for Natsu when knowing most likely the way Natsu reacted to like mirror being Phantom. My position is that like Natsu would have definitely fought and definitely would be well and fully aware of like the existence of like Phantom like Dark Guilds and might have even fought up against this place Phantom Dark Guild like the past as well. So definitely also my position answer. So my personal theory is for like Phantom to be either like one among like the strong dark hills out there, or like I'm considering Phantom would be like a special group of like a bunch of dark hills, like being this like organization of like a group uh, uh, called like the Phantom. It's like the other possibility that I'm considering in the future in this. So like I believe in the superior direction right now with like Master Macro being and I'm like I'm preparing like Macro right now will be rotating Master Macro to like straight away that like let's get revenge on let's crush and bring down like the pattern. Like that is what I'm totally expecting for like Naso right now to like tell Master Macro, but like I'm only playing Master Macro to say no. They're only something like Master Macro taking the decision that basically to get revenge on like the Phantom. Like now is not like the right time to like get revenge on like the Phantom, and that is definitely what I'm looking at. Only for like Master Macro, like totally saying that and basically taking that decision and solely due to that decision of Master Macro as like the master of the debate is get like and Natsu would be like extremely frustrated get like Natsu being forced to like basically that way like respect like macro position as like the master of the very kid and hence like Natsu like since the frustrated Natsu along with like the remaining players as well like basically not retaliating back is like the scenario that I'm going and my secondary and corruption and I'm considering maybe I'm considering like master macros that maybe in like the future happening due to like maybe eventually at some point like maybe during some without job like that's totally running into that phantom group at some point accidentally and basically so at that point like totally deciding to like get revenge on like the phantom and delivering like at that point like master macro maybe finding out about this and macro basically it's like tying by the hands of like the phantom while trying to like save Nasu. Definitely not considering it because like by then like the phantom would have grown a whole lot stronger even beyond like Nasu's education. So like I was delivering Nasu only getting into trouble at that point and macro being forced to like basically sacrifices like just to save Nasu. It's like an eventual working scenario that ends up only working. Maybe I'm considering like eventually like the of like macros definitely one thing that I'm considering the thing to happen in like the near or distant future and I'm considering maybe that of like macro future will be like happening maybe by the hands of like the band. It's also like definitely an eventual scenario that I'm considering it of like a possibility that I'm considering for again of the game rush. Yeah. Also, like the belief my the impression right now is that like macro would be like deep down extremely enraged like pitching to like get revenge on like the kind of ball like destroying and attacking and destroying like the macros like the spirit guild. Uh, Apparatus Guild would be that this guild as like the master with the Veritas macro would be like probably taking that absolute pride in being like the master of like the Veritas Guild and his guild days and everything would be so then absolutely precious something that macro would only seeing as absolutely extremely precious the playing of the game so like that with like phantoms attack and basically and the destruction of like the guild base like basically that made it only straight away extremely embrace macro and macro might have been pitching to like get revenge on like the patterns. But like I'm considered only something like macro might have been able to like think logically that basically now is not the right time to like get revenge. It's definitely my book's revenge. And macro will definitely be having this like the reason. Macro will be like well and fully aware for like the progression and growth of like the group and that basically macro might have only felt that basically straight away right now that and also since like macro would be like only thing even more brilliant and even more like more in like a logical manner than like the remaining of like the who would want like macro to this along with like macros like only and like the fair tale get to only straight away retaliate and get revenge on like the Brandon group. But like I'm totally putting macro would be totally thinking different because of his experience as like the master of like the characters feel like basically macro would be like totally seeing along a different lines because like macro would be totally saying that if this attack like the fandom would be like definitely expecting like the fairy tale guild again like the fairy tale definitely again like a fairy tale guild to like straight away retaliate. So like a master macro would be able to like foresee the possibility that like the at that point like basically like it might be allured by like the fandom group to like certainly lure like the favorite guild into like getting them enraged and getting them to like charge straight towards like the fandom group towards like the ways of the fandom group where like they would have totally set up like that ultimate then where like the fandom would be like totally well fully prepared and might have set up like the ultimate trap for like the fairy tale skip, and that will be like the plan of like the phantom to like get rid and destroy and get rid of like the fairy tale skip. This much a macro might be able to like foresee it right now, especially my person brain due to like not so much like experience. It's definitely it's a bigger experience, definitely my person brain. So precisely maybe because of this reason like macro might be like the reason for like I'm preparing macro right now, taking the decision to like not retaliate now being not the right time to let the pilot. It's like the recommended decision that I'm also totally talking of macro to definitely take. It's definitely my personal recommendation. But even while macro and the differing would be saying that like a macro will be so extremely itching to like get revenge and would be extremely enraged purchase and like the phantom for like destroying to like purchase where it is killed based. So like those differing so it would be precisely because of that reason that like macro right now is even thinking it's definitely my personal recommendation. Maybe because like it would be like strangely working out with them for like macro alone that basically like doing so would be like the only way right? And like the current present situations for like macro to be able to like calm things down. It's definitely my theory and prediction. Okay, so like definitely my theory and prediction right now that like since like the fandom attack like the character gets placed in like the middle of the night and no one would there like I'm totally so precisely the fandom would be like I'm still thinking about the Cinderella but like fandom would be like a dark guild group is the name of the Cinderella or like would be like the name of one of the dark guild would be just like as involved in just like a dark guild like none of the remnants is fandom is like another dark guild but like another dark people might have whom like the purpose still might have fought off multiple times in like the against in like the Marcus definitely my particular emotion. So like my particular impression that like the fan even to like the what would be unique about like my personal impression about it about like what would be unique about like the fandoms would be that they would have their strong point would be like their extreme trickery ways of like fighting and setting up back. Especially my particular impression. That would be what makes them like that would be what would be like the present sole reason that will be even required to like take them seriously when in actuality like when it comes to like direct attack like the phantoms would be like easily be able to like be defeated especially my percentage embrace. So this might be like and I'm also bring like in the past like the Vertex Guild might have mainly fought up against like the Phantom Pure with indirect attacks and might have defeated the Phantoms multiple times in like the past as well. Especially my personal opinion. This might have been precisely due, the reason for like Natsu like extreme Natsu and like a few Fearless Guild members having like that extreme confidence and desire to like straight away get revenge on like the Phantoms while like a few other characters members are basically like worried about like the attack being from the expanders, especially my secondary animation. So my person theory is that like like my person theory is that like basically to do the Hurricane solely most likely due to like the fans being well and fully aware that basically in like a direct one attack like they wouldn't be able to like challenge or like defeat like the fairy tale that or the parents would be like when fully aware of that, and that may be the precise reason for like them most likely having set up like the ultimate taken time and prepared like the ultimate trap for like the parent get in the in like right in front of like the base of like the phantom group is definitely my considering the chance. Then they might have decided to like down to like and then they might have decided to like basically attack like the Heritage Guild case precisely, and that way provoke and lure like the Heritage Guild to showing up to the days of like to like the location of like the days of like the phantom where like they would have set up all the traps so that like it they the phantom would be well and fully aware that that would be like the only way that way tricking like the fairy tale skills would be like the only way in through which like they would be able to like finally be able to like bring down and delete and destroy like the fairy tale skills. So this might be like the current attempt of like the phantom definitely might be very approach. So and this will be what macro will be like proof like superior experience that like I'm going to bring master macro will be able to like precisely see through this like track and precisely that definitely being like the reason for like right now to putting macro deciding taking the decision to like not retaliate. Generally, my wisdom, but like I'm just bring maybe also like another possibility that basically now so once again like not respecting like the position of macro as like the master and like the leader of like the very relationship and basically exactly like how Natsu attempted like the Kestera Galuna Island mission by breaking the rules of like the fairy tale. Like once again like Natsu totally disobeyed like macro disobeying macro and is like position as like the master disrespecting his position as like the master and basically once again like Natsu all by himself, like most likely maybe all by himself, like deciding to like head off to like the secretly head off to like get revenge on like the fans. It's like a possibility that I'm about to bring in. So like once naturally like secretly trying to like and I'm about to bring Natsu to like one thing this self and secretly by himself being all confident and thinking by himself he will be able to like straight away get revenge on like the fans. So certainly my personal impression. So that when I was bring Lucy spotting Lucy and Gray spotting Natsu sneaking out and like them totally being forced to like tag along with Natsu. But I'm going to probably putting like this time as well trying on finding out about like Natsu sneaking out to get revenge on like the phantoms until it's like too late. It's like the scenario that I was bringing, and which at that point as well one would be like probably rushing it towards like to bring back towards where Natsu would I want towards like the face like location of like the phantom. It's probably bring Natsu back, but like by then I'm supposed to bring Natsu, the group of Natsu, Grey, and Lucy only falling for the trap like the phantom and like the phantom only deciding to like maybe being like a bit disappointed like, since like the fans might have been expecting like the entire people to get this to like show off. Yeah, and like the fans deciding to like basically still get revenge their revenge on like the character skill by taking the life of like Natsu, Lucy, Happy and Grey. It's definitely not going to so like that way like Natsu control that not probably being uh in that ultimate trap and like probably being in trouble and not being able to like, do anything at all because like they would have like the fans would have set up like the ultimate magical trap with like all sorts of like unique magic they might have like they set up like the ultimate trap that basically even Natsu as well as Gray as the team of Natsu Gray and Lucy even though they would be like in one versus one fight like they would be a whole lot stronger than the fans still like with them caught in that trap like them not being able to like escape or do anything about it. So like I'm supposing that way like the fan is about to being about to like take the lives of like Natsu Lucy and Gray. But like at that very last second I'm about to bring macro and so that's the remaining fairy tale still to like especially shown and precisely them totally seeing like the trap at that point solely due to like Natsu and Pro having fallen into that trap. Then Varana was suffering not just it would be not just because of that because like macro would totally be able to like see through like the attempt to trap like the characters just by the phantoms like about the ring macro as they will be heading off to like to like the base location of the phantoms macro will only warning his like characters members or remaining characters guild members about like the possibility, the great possibility of like a trap being set for them. So like that way, like the macro and like the characters give remaining characters guild members like probably being able to like avoid such traps that would exist and basically then them showing up and them having that finally having that like for one of one and then saving like especially to Lucy and Gray and Happy and then it's like the Predators still having that one fight against like the Phantoms where like the Predators still would be like only destroying and defeating like the Phantom. And I'm also running that Predators still in that and that's in that fight like the Predators still like only destroying like the base of like the Phantoms as well that way getting that as revenge as well as like a TikTok and also like the scenario that I'm bring, but still I'm bring the fan still not being able to like capture. At that point, maybe Macro might want to like not take their like but capture and the more to the council, but still about the bring like the very even though like the phantoms will be destroyed, like they would be like still all of them would be cutting just cheering and like escaping with the scenarios that I'm totally on the thing. And when those interactions so like this time as well for like and also like breaking the rules and basically disobeying matter and disobeying after that whole fight will be over like matter of only punishing and also this time also Kire as well as like Lucy and Happy. It's like the scenario that I'm going to only protecting and not and this time also and through will definitely be getting that punishment. This is definitely the scenario that I'm going to and that punishment most likely being like then having to like basically clean up the entirety of like the real case. And I'm also worrying it's time for like the punishment will be most likely for like not to improve to like only work on fixing like the heritage skill that has been like that have been thoroughly destroyed by that lack of like the fantasy like basically like macro totally putting like Natsu in charge and basically giving all that responsibility for Natsu and Lucy as well as Grey and Happy to like basically to like ensure that like the base is fixed within the week maybe. This is definitely that being like the punishment for them at that point that now throw they give them is like the eventual scenarios that are looking at my talking to them. Oh, yes, and like I definitely taking the question right now that basically since it's now revealed that basically the phantoms are like another just another normal guild like the name of the rendition that like they will be like an extremely weak normal guild who or that that guild would be and the phantoms will be extremely jealous might have been jealous of like the accomplishments of like the characters from way back in the name of the rendition. So like the first because of this like the phantom might have caused like trouble and might have got created trouble and might have got up against like the first skills my difference in like the after each and every single time that phantom might have totally lost. Definitely my person remember and my person remember is also that like during like the whole assembled guild attack on like the meetings of like the masters like I'm during that meetings of like the masters sections, like all of the masters had basically that absolute humor and basically that genuine good and kind heartedness. Like I'm talking definitely the master of things like the phantom are like would be definitely like an extremely small and weak normal get numbers. Referring like their master would have definitely not shown up to that master's meeting, definitely not great. Not because like he would might have not even been invited to that master's meeting because like it would be like only that the master's meeting that took place that that past might have been like the meetings of only like the top wizard guilds. It's definitely my opinion because like there will be way more wizard guilds than like those number of masters that have basically showed up to that master's meeting during that Assembled Guild attack. It's definitely my personal theory. I'm not sure. So like there will be way more great number of wizard guilds, but like when it comes to like way more great number of wizard guilds who are like weak, but like I'm totally putting and like the Phantom Guild, Wizard Guild would be like one of them, but who's like absolutely jealous and would be like and always targeting like the prayer bullshit and it would be like they don't only desiring like destruction of like the Paradise Guild as well, especially not in the same ratio. So my personal theory is that like and especially with like the masters basically having done stuff that like basically even while like masters basically kick their guild members out of like their guild so but when like their guild members like it seems like it's a thing where like masters kick out like their guild members whenever a guild member does the jobs in like a very strict manner like and hence like that guild even being formed like basically even while such a situation exists like for like normal wizard guild itself or like an entire normal wizard guild like the phantom itself to like basically attack another do something so villainous as attacking another and destroying like another normal wizard guild and so different it will be precisely definitely there will be like not just jealousy but like there will be that extreme villainistic element within like the phantom wizard guild as well as like the on like the precise the extreme jealousy. The jealousy would be the most on like the master of like that like phantoms in circle and definitely was the movie emersion. And that hence is like this jealousy might not only spread uh its jealousy and villainous deep down existing villain signature might have spread through all of this like his like guild members of like the phantoms in the guild as well. It's definitely not the thing emersion. So like I'm considering this villainous nature lying within like the master of like the phantoms guild and it's like guild members like will be eventually he totally taken advantage of by like the dark guilds eventually in like the future. Most likely in like the distant future, definitely my position and that way. And I'm considering by then like the fairy tale gen by then in the future, like by then, like the fairy tale gen would be like obstructing and destroying even more plants of like the darkest in like the future as well. It's definitely a very impression and considering like the darkest like eventually at some point like figuring out about like this wizard guild, normal wizard guild by the name Phantoms having such extreme grudge towards like the fairy tale guild, like, extreme grudge and dislike towards like the fairy tale guild. So like I'm considering like dark is totally taking advantage of such a situation to like potentially get like the normal phantom guild to like basically team up with like the dark guild to precisely with like with their common enemy being like especially the fairy tale guild, with their common target being especially the fairy tale guild. Like the scenario that I'm considering so like because of this for reason, like for these reasons, like I was like referring like the phantom skills to like eventually in that person to have a tie up with like the tie up and teaming up with like the dark skills. It's like one positive that I was referring. Oh, and the other positive like eventually like in the future like the phantom skill like doing even more like villainous like which would be totally against like how like would be against would be so extremely against like how a normal kills because they also they have to like constant that basically emphasizing initially the council precisely taking the issue seriously and basically the council precisely declaring like banning like the phantom skill and basically that way like when they are tabling the phantom skill that's be turning into dark guilds and basically teaming up with like the remaining dark guilds to eventually get revenge on like the offenders. No, also like an eventual possible scenario that I'm considering. And for all that to happen, so basically I'm considering it to be the president of the matter that I'm considering. At that point, like this situation that will be like exactly complaining to like the council about like the phantom guild while they would be normal guild, which would be totally causing them to be like to totally get banned by the council and that way then turning into them being both like turned into like dark and basically that way like the phantoms having like even more of an extreme grudge towards like the territories and macro in like the future of like an eventual scenario that I'm looking at my person very much sure. Okay, so like actually my question very interesting. Like I was usually reading how like the fandoms are like kind of similar to like the fairy tale, like like it would be that reckless element of like the fairy tale skill. That would be like that common factor that would be like also big percent in like the Phantom's guilt as well, definitely going to put and both guilds would be having that extreme reckless nature to totally impulsively do things that definitely might consider and create our destruction like exactly like now to different to give probably like a member in like the Phantom's guild as well who would be like totally won't be able to do anything without like creating a lot of destruction fight. Definitely my consider version. So but yet like the fan as in the case of like phantom that was only protecting for the phantoms to like not remain as like just like kind of like a weaker rival kind of like this of like the heritage just wouldn't be causing like any sort of like serious trouble for like the heritage like but to bring them to totally have that the extreme difference with like the heritage skill when it comes to like when it comes to like goodness and but to bring they have that extreme dark side there would be like I'm to bring like fantasy would be like a darker an extremely dark version of like the heritage skills it's definitely my personal way. It would be only like the reckless element alone that would be the common factor. Like it would be like the the super thing for like managed to be like a parallel of like the heritage in its like a but in like an extremely dark form. That's definitely my personal way. About like because of this again my personal impression and those were like the thing definitely like the parents not being like um, being like playing a major role eventually in like when it comes to like turning like extremely in like into like a villain of skill and basically even tying up with like the target to protect the target like the predator skill. That way like the phantom guild taking eventually moving along in such extreme villain direction in like the future. It's like the scenario that end up developing and choosing on the another to the end of it. Okay, so like definitely I'm taking your information right now. If that basically window right now at the next day at like this is house solely due to like the current situation with like the kind of guild and all that. I'm considering even after that situation is over, like I'm considering by then like I'm considering after that to totally get comfortable with like Lucy's home that that person was get only like exactly like how Natsu and Gray totally has taken from Luffy for granted and always whenever they please enter and say that Lucy's woman, but in the same thing to happen with Appa as well, and but bring up this whole situation with the phantoms, certain situations would the phantoms would be over here after that actually often showing up and basically staying at Lucy's home without even asking Lucy exactly Natsu and Gray is the eventual scenario that and that totally being a thing is an eventual scenario that I'm totally on the second so definitely I'm pursuing the impression right now that basically one of the Phantom's guild member basically might have right now abducted Levi. This definitely might be what exactly might have right now happened. This definitely might be going on. So them abducting Levi and might be precisely due to basically them not getting their desired response from the fairy tale skill even after their full sneak attacking the fairy tale skill base in the middle of the night. It's definitely my person the and then even sneak attacking would be definitely because of them totally fearing having a straightforward direct one was one that is against the heritage skills because they wouldn't be the fans wouldn't be confident in their strength that they will be able to defeat the heritage skills uh, in the one that's from direct battle. Definitely not the so switching into the that behind the sneak attack their plan might have definitely been that way enrage the heritage skill and they need to get them to chase after the phantom guild so that at that point, they would have already set up their trap. So, to get the predator kills to fall into that trap and basically that way to totally definitely the phantoms are not the dark kills, but are only a normal kill. They wouldn't be planning on currently wouldn't be at all planning on taking the life of any of the predator skills members. But I'm preferring it might be solely them wanting to get revenge on the fairy tale skills by embarrassingly them wanting to embarrassingly defeat and injure badly injure the fairy tale skills of this. That would be their only intent right now, especially my person to the impression. So get they will be well and fully aware that in a one versus one fight they won't be able to do that. So I'm just they might have to set up the trap and their whole plan totally backfired might have totally backfired once a macro deciding not to retaliate. So definitely my chance it might be precisely due to that reason that the Phantom's group being forced to abduct one of the fairy tale guild members so that at that point the fairy tale guild would be having absolutely no choice and would be forced to basically come after the Phantom's guild and basically that way fall into the trap. It's definitely my personal so precisely with this intent right now that one of that Phantom guild member might have definitely right now abducted Levi right now. That might have been what exactly might have right now happened, especially my personal theory. So definitely it's the second theory impression that right now the threatening Devi would be totally getting affected and basically with that basically Master Macro being forced and having no other option but to precisely uh like stays after and go after the phantom spirit along with just and maybe then after the along with macro would be heading off towards to find and after the random game. Random game is definitely the scenario that I'm only putting. And even at that point, I'm preparing before they will be heading off to fight the random group and save Levi. Even before that, Macro will be totally telling and warning the fairy tale in that particular that they would be definitely this would be exactly what they would be wanting right now to go after them. So they would have totally set up cards. So we should be prepared for we should be prepared and we should remain always alert as we would be going after that. Usually macro giving that word of advice and warning just and that gets the correct skills. But I'm going to something as usual and not likely. Yeah, so totally being getting that college extremely just enough to extreme rage and desire to get revenge on uh on the fandoms group basically totally getting the best of Natsu Natsu maintaining his a recklessness and lack of alertness and basically Natsu totally falling in before anybody else I'm preparing anything certainly Natsu most likely maybe even Natsu alone that will be basically falling into the trap of the kind of scenario that I'm preparing. Either it being just Natsu alone or I'm preparing the group of Natsu, Lucy. and Grey falling for the trap, and I was preparing as well totally like the falling for the trap, and then all the remaining Grey as well as Lucy as well as Hatsa falling into the trap would be solely due to like Natsu's reckless actions and like them trying to like them being forced to like tag along with like Natsu would be like so a reason for like them as well Grey as well as like Hatsa as well as Lucy as well getting caught in along with like Natsu in that trap at like that point. It's like the event scenario that I'm going to like yet like I'm going to bring Macro and like the others like basically pulling through and basically saving Natsu and brothers and basically them all collectively destroying and crushing and defeating. And that way, like the fairy tales still like getting their revenge on like the Phantom's group. It's like the ninja scenarios that I'm about to like the thing and we're going to remember. Okay, so like definitely my question to remember right now is that basically since like as far right now have revealed that basically the Phantoms haven't so far such a direct attack against like the fairy tale skill like and the thing and that being like probably strange for like and the thing maybe like right now already like the uh Darkest might have only found out about like the Phantoms having that extreme grudge or dislike to like the character and basically like the dark is possibly already having like taken advantage of it and possibly like already the phantoms having like teamed up like the dark is already like the possibility that I'm talking about the maybe this like attack, this like strange, all of a sudden strange and direct, extreme direct attack when like the fairy tale kills and destroying of like the fairy tale kills by like the phantoms might be a result of that tie up, the phantom tying up with like the darkness. It's also like a possibility that ends up different. Maybe like the darkness would be like only using like the phantoms to like totally get revenge and totally destroy, like actually destroy and take the life of like the fairy tale kill. It's definitely my personal theory and prediction right now. And that would be precisely discussing it about intervention, and that would be precisely the Darkins trying to actually get revenge for like the Fairytale Guild, like by now having like multiple times like obstructed their multiple villainous goals of like the Darkins. So like my personal impression that like the families might have like so far might have never been like lower even near like the same levels of strength as that of like the fairy tales. Definitely never been, but right now after like teaming up like the dark might have given like kind of like power to like precisely like all sorts of unique magical items and magic as well to precisely and like they might have offered like Ravens might have offered all that help to like the phantoms to precisely so that like they would properly able to like get revenge on like the fairy skill like so along this line like the Ravens might have played the role of like a fake friend to the fandom so that like the fandom so that they are willing to help the fandom get their revenge on like the fairy tales skill. And like my personal is that like the fandom might genuinely not be aware that basically the artist actually plans on like basically taking the life of like destroying and taking the life of the fairy tale uh, might be one thing the phantoms even to the present might not be aware of. Even after learning their attack might not be aware of this definitely the phantoms might not at all the phantoms can get might not be at all aware of like the seriousness of the situation, like cleaning up the like the dungeon. It's definitely my personal impression. And so like the artist might have offered all sorts of magical item and magic to like the phantoms and that might have totally like being able to like greatly strengthen like the current strength of like the phantom guild. It's also definitely my personal impression. Yes, so like definitely my taking to the understand right now, like Macro being like one of like the 10 resort saints, like I'm just different like the 10 resort saints would be like those exact like people that have basically masters that they have basically had like their whole masters meeting during that whole conference meeting like in which like second world champions was like about to attack try to attack us definitely not information. Those might there might have been 10 masters in that conference meeting and those 10 might have been like the total, collectively it might have been like that actual total 10 without saying it's definitely not the remission. That's for like for the start to like eventually be able to like reach like the position of the being like one of like the 10 without saying like the thing like the requirement would be like extreme leadership qualification. Definitely not the same that it won't be about like simply like the road strength alone. Like I'm bring also like I'm bring like currently like my master macro would be like CSS from like I'm bring still like there's like guild members of like the fairy tales guild who senior guild members of like the fairy tales guild like Laxus and Mister and like basically and the Mr. Mysterious remaining three fairy tale senior guild members like basically they will be most likely even stronger than macro, especially Magic in the range. So, uh, and a particular macro strength will be like splitting the particular version that like macro's absolute full strength will be equivalent to that of Silo. Like and every other senior members of like the red test would be like stronger than the macro, especially Magic in the range. So like not for like a research to become like one of like the 10 things like basically usually all about leadership quality that rather than just trying to settle human realization. And that might be really how macro ended up being like getting to like the position of one of like being like one of like the 10 to 13 to lead my position. So it would be like kind of like a parallel or like a similar to even though even though like the same like position would be like even though the council members like the council and the council members would be having like more power over like and the power to then give orders to like all the 10 wizard trains like personally but like still like it would be like a parallel like how like the other like the group of like the council like the council, like the requirement of council to be a council as well. And also but in the case of like for like someone to be a council, like that person might actually have to be a noble. But other than that, like leadership quality would be like another requirement, especially in this material. So like this, but in the case of like for like a research to become like a one like the 10 research things like and also it would be like so their requirement would be like that absolute skill in like leadership, especially in the which like master macro would be having is definitely and hence getting to that position in growth of channels and from a manner definitely know the position. Hence why Gray has like definitely has like that absolute faith in like macros discipline to like not straight away retaliate to like the random like get attack on like the of like the destruction of like the character skill base definitely my position to interest. Okay, so like the name of the introduction right now, like it's like the masters of like the fantasy, and by the name Joes is also like one of like the 10 desert things. Like I'm going to like maybe, maybe like during like the whole SN World Guild attack on like the conference between like the 10, and it might have been that India still think about that like it might have been not just like a conference among just masters of like a bunch of things, but like it might have been really a conference among like the 10 desert things that might have happened during that time. It's definitely not the range. So definitely not the range that like simple lecture might have definitely been present in that press conference. Like so my the range that attack on like the world guild on that press conference as for like the world guild even knowing about like the uh knowing about like the conference of like the tennis exchange even happening precisely during that time in that precise location and all that like all those information might have been precisely leaked through they might have gotten through precisely this exact Joes like the master of like the kind of skills, exactly a possibility that ambassador only putting and like so that might mean and like they might have totally like the SN version might have totally so like that would totally mean that Joes and like the fandom just might have teamed up with like the might have totally teamed up with like the Dark Chills, might have definitely had like a connection with like the FN World Guild, even with like the Dark Guilds, like or maybe more than one Dark Guild or just like the FN World Guild, even way back then, especially my secondary generation. And so like like my secondary impressions were like especially back when like the whole like conference meeting of like the end of the change masters had taken place in like Sudan or like basically in the whole FN world attack like basically back then I was referring Joes might have definitely been present and basically as one of like the 10 wizard saints in that masters meeting and basically chose like the wizard saint and wizard saint like master of like the phantom Joes might have definitely showed up to that meeting exactly while wearing hair plus because like he might have definitely been behind like the he might have definitely was frustrated along with like that symbol drafted to for like the for like launching like that side assassination attack of like the using the lullaby flute on the assassination for regular assassination of all the masters of like the normal guild the my positive emergence. So like he might not only like according to the plan like this he might not only Joe might not only showed up to that conference meeting by wearing hair like certainly my positive Okay, so like definitely mentioning you can mention right now with like us revealing that basically Sacred is not only like a come through the but also simultaneously like wizard trained as well. So like I'm also putting like mainly two numbers different two possibilities like mainly those precise like master conference meeting that took place in like the past during the whole SN World Guild at Lullaby Club at that like basically that masters conference meeting might have been an actual might have definitely been like an actual meeting of like the 10 research screens in which like only nine might have appeared precisely. Severin might have not appeared precisely because of like Severin like Severin knowing beforehand about like the lullaby float attack, incoming lullaby float attack. It's like one possibility that I'm going to bring. Or like the other possibility that I'm going to bring that like that for conference conference meeting by elect the masters that took place back then might have been like no a meeting of like the wizard train of like the 10 wizard trains or anything like that. It might have been maybe only macro alone that might have been like the only wizard train present as like a master in like in that master conference meeting that took place back then. It's definitely not considered. And it might have been just like a conference meeting of not all the masters of all the normal guilds. Like there will be way more normal guilds than just like the number of masters that might have shown up to that conference meeting back then. It's definitely not considered. So like maybe it might have been like a bunch of selected masters uh, basically deciding to like hold a conference meeting. And basically, that might have been what might have happened back then, in which like Makaro was taking part in. This is definitely like the other possibility that I'm going to go looking and we're talking to them. Okay, so like definitely my talking to the interactions right now is like natural being so extremely natural being right now being so extremely confident thing like they could like the characters would like go this straight away mark towards like the phantom still and they straight away destroy them like even though like they are like even greater in numbers as well. It's definitely my talking to the and my talking to the seeing that like in the past when Natsu might have definitely fought off against like the Phantoms Guild in like the past, but like Natsu might have only fought off against like the lower rank members of like the Phantom Guild. And Natsu might have only assumed that like the Phantom Guild are not all that tough. Definitely not the range. Natsu might have definitely not in like in the past, like Natsu might have definitely never might have faced off against like neither the element four of like the F class wizards of like the Phantom Guild or like the Iron Judge like the who will be definitely like the Dragon Slayer, Iron Gajin will be like the strongest member of like the panel. The definitely member of the Grand so like definitely I'm considering uh maybe I'm considering without much delay, like I'm considering with like a levy getting affected, like I'm considering definitely that like the position that is sitting on to. So like at that point I'm considering like the country is being forced to like go after like the fan skill and at that point I'm considering definitely a fight to take place and I'm considering in that fight like I'm Naso either fighting one of like the element four or like I'm Naso fighting like the iron Gajir, it's like the scenario that I'm putting. And I'm putting Nacho totally being blown away, like the overwhelming strength of like either like the element for one of the members of the element for like who can who that takes up like exponential and everything basically either one of them or like the different either it could be like Nacho fighting off against like Iron Gajin himself, the dragon player Iron Gajin himself and like him totally them totally like defeating like regardless of who was Nacho right now without mentioning like on like the Rebels would be like facing off a clint without the delay, like as like the perfect to rescue Levi once they will be like meeting up with like the meeting of like the fans and guild and they really want like the fight begins like definitely I'm about to bring as for like especially in Naruto's case I'm about to bring Naruto totally getting overpowered and Naruto that huge ego and all confidence of Naruto totally getting crushed that way. Especially my person and Naruto totally getting that reality check and basically like face with that reality that the phantom killed someone who he totally thought insignificant are actually a whole lot stronger and even currently even stronger than Natsu. That and Natsu getting that hard reality check was like the scenario that I'm going to find. So like the supporting Natsu either fighting against one of like the members of the element four or like Natsu fighting right now with Armin's delay like fighting off against like I am the dragon chair, I am Fajil, and basically, regardless of who Natsu fights, like Natsu, without much delay, that fight will be totally losing. It's like the scenario that I'm going to bring, and I'm going to bring it would take like the collective effort, and I'm also bringing to do precisely like, and that would be when, and I'm also bringing like once like the third skill would be like launching the, showing up and to like rescue Levi at that point. I'm also bringing like most likely neither Lactus nor Mystigen, nor like the other remaining S class, F class rectors, like they will be senior. Senior rank like wizard guild members of like the heritage guild, like none of them like basically going along with like the uh, macro and through to like especially say Delhi's like the scenario that I'm preparing, and I'm preparing like it would be like, and I'm preparing as for like the other mysterious remaining three among the top five members of like the uh, of like the Period senior members of the Period Guild, like I'm preparing right then as well only like Laxus as well as Nicholas only being shown, and considering the two of them like only refusing to like go along with like macro, or like I'm preparing Mr. Jen alone deciding to like go along with macro, while like I'm preparing maybe like deciding not to like even bother, like basically Laxus is only being acting or confident and not even bother, like basically to basically try to like attempt to try to like basically put an effort to like save and Devi, who like that would be totally looking down on so usually like Devi, for Devi being like not a senior member of like the paradise. There was definitely the scenario that I'm considering. So like as like macro as well as like paradise through would be like fighting off against like the phantom through. Like at that point I'm debating the Patriots get like through like only getting like awkward and defeated, and about the Prince precisely it will be once like Nasu bit only and badly getting defeated and badly getting injured. That's at that point I was preparing maybe most likely like was deciding to like show up and take all the spotlight, and I was preparing like Nasu shockingly witnessing the overwhelming strength of Naxos, like the scenario that I was preparing, and I was preparing maybe along with like Naxos at that point is when I was preparing maybe it would be at that point that I was preparing the remaining mysterious unrevealed three members, senior members of like the Patriot, which is the event be revealed. And particularly definitely I'm speaking to members of members that will be definitely with their entry into like the battlefield that I'm preparing. The Patriot skill would be that even be able to like for and defeat like the kind of skill. That's like the scenario that I'm preparing, and I'm totally delivering. It would yeah, and I'm totally delivering like at that point like, for like the kind of skills to like totally make their retreat and escape. So, like also like the scenario that I'm delivering and nothing to finish, and definitely I'm totally delivering like eventually as for like the distant future, I'm definitely preparing like a one versus one eventual future battle between like Iron Steel versus like Natsu. It's like a fight. The fight between two dragon slayers is like a fight that I'm definitely preparing for like the very distant future. In which like I'm preparing it would be like to be totally an intense fight, and I'm preparing it will be only in that distant future that Natsu would be like even strong enough to be able to like even still struggle his way into like into being able to like destroy and defeat like the strongest member of like the parents get whom even in that distant future would be like only remaining as like I am getting himself is currently a secondary impression, and he would be like by then in the distant future he would be like gaining grown a lot more in strength. His currently impression. Yet like in the fight that ended up supporting to take place in like the very distant future, like Natsu Doti, that one was a front fight against like and Gajin, like Natsu Doti initially overpowering and defeating and Gajin. Like the scenario that I'm only bring and not of the range of that for like the very distant future. Okay, so like the clean empathy movie I'm raising right now, and for like the precise person that Gajil has left for like the career, like I'm preparing for it to be like either a letter that details out about like Levi being having been abducted, and basically like a threat that basically that they would like probably take like they would like take like Levi's life if like the heritage guild doesn't show up to like the mentioned location, the this location, or like to like the first base of like the phantom's guild by this specific certain time. It's like or like before like the sunset it would be like along such a letter would be like a letter of threat. It would be like this present that basically Kaji would have totally left for like the fairy tale. It's definitely my consideration. That like on top of that I'm considering for it to either be a letter or for it to be like a photo of like poor lady badly injured. It's like and like put up on like the fairy guild in front of like the fairy guild base. It's like it would be either one of these two possibilities, which like the deal would be like referring to as like person right now. And that for like the fairy guild is definitely my vegetarian option. So with that, like I'm considering like definitely at that point, like macro definitely like I know it's not choice, but like yeah, that's like where they skill, the entire of like is where they skill, and I'm considering this would be like the very first time like the entirety of like the fairy tale skill as a pro, like excluding like the senior fairy tale skill members, like the remaining entirety of the fairy tale skill members, along with like macro like basically together heading out to basically for for like together kind of heading out for like a mission together. It's like this would be like the first time. It's definitely my personal impression at that point. It's definitely my personal impression. And I was wondering, something to my personal impression that like I'm leaning more towards the positive. Like right now, leaning more towards the positive. That basically at that point, like eventually, I'm also putting like a natural versus Gajin fight. Once like the characters will be making it to like the base of like the to like the base of precisely the Phantom get like I'm just preparing to like the fight to take place, and I'm just preparing leading more to the possibility that like while Axis won't be going along with them, like the investigations would definitely be most likely going along with like the Predators get and listening to Matt House, like the scenario that I'm also preparing. And they're like I'm also preparing like a fight between like Natsu and Yajir, in which like Yajir would be like literally only offering at this point like Natsu to totally getting crushed and defeated and getting sidelined. And I'm considering that would be like the point when like Lactus will be showing up. And I'm considering definitely right now I'm considering like a Lactus versus like a Gajil fight, in which like I'm considering Lactus would be totally overpowering and defeating Gajil. So like the scenario that I'm considering. And for now to like watching Lactus with like overwhelming superior strength and fight performance with like absolute jealousy and frustration. It's like the scenario that I'm looking at for right now and not particularly interested. Okay, so like definitely not particularly interested right now as for like the master of like the kind of skill, like referring to like the destruction of like the skill base as like a seed being sown, like I'm talking it might definitely have to do with like basically like their tie-up, secret tie-up and secret tie-up with like the dark guild. And I'm also bringing like, maybe like together with the dark guild, like they would be together so orchestrating the ultimate trap to basically eventually fully destroy and possibly even take not just destroy like the parent but also take the life of like the entire of the parent guild as well. So also definitely my thought process is that I'm talking about like especially right now also something like most likely like the especially because and it will be especially because of like the master of like the Phantom Skill being like extremely deep down being like an extremely villainous character that I'm talking about like that he might have run that extreme villainous to like his guild members and hence like the entire character of guild being like so extremely villainous is definitely my different exactly like how Master Macros like kind-heartedness spread through his like fairy tale guild is definitely my personal impression. So my personal impression is that right now like the kind of guild like plan would be to like precisely eventually destroy not only destroy but take the life of all the characters guild members and then walk into like uh for like the phantom guilds to like totally according to their plan practical winners plan like they will be planning on that, taking the life of like teaming up with like the dark guilds to like basically secretly stealthily teaming up with like the dark guild which they might have already done that whole team up and that would be the first reason for like the dialogue that the seed has been sown like it will be just step one of like the ultimate draft of like a plan set for like the fairy tale guild to like only into this story and take the like of legendary of the fairy tale guild. And according to their plan, they will be planning on like according to like their agreed plan with the dark guild, they would be planning on like together teaming up and basically to fight and bring down and destroy and take the life of like, the fairy tale guild and basically then for them to like make it appear and then for like the fantasy to like make it appear in front of like the rest of the world as if like it was like the work of that's the best basket. And then for like management to like totally to totally make it appear to totally put on the fake actors like they have like absolutely no connection to any dark freak and all that stuff. So that way to like stealthily like destroy and bring the end absolute end to like the fairy tale will be like the extreme villainous plan of like the master Joes of like the Fantasy Guild and the guild members of like the Fantasy Guild that plan will be exactly this. right now. It's definitely my passenger impression. So like in my passenger impressions that like basically even when Master Macro is like a wizard saying like I'm delivering among the 10 wizard sayings like other wizards that might be like most of like the among like the 10 wizard sayings might like totally like where their whole flow of like the wizard saint representation representing flow with like absolute pride and basically would always like step outside and basically walk around like always while most of the time like wearing this cloak and like showing up especially in the presentation. But like the case of like macro like at least the remember that macro might only extremely it would be extremely rare to even see macro like even wearing like the wizard saint cloak representing cloak is definitely my personal impression. And only like and when even though it's like extremely rare, but whenever like macro will be wearing that cloak, it will probably mean that macro is like absolutely and truly serious about that fight. It's definitely my personal impression. So like right now, macro even wearing that wizard with a train flow right now would be such an extremely rare occasion. Like it would be something that is like happening so extremely rare. Even to it's like where it is definitely my very encouraging. So, like many of it, like where it is still members like might be even seeing like him wearing like the this wizard train flow right now for like the very first time after like them even joining like the where it is. It's also definitely my very impression. So also, like definitely my passenger impression right now is that even though Lucy is in like the hospital, like right beside like Debbie and hospital only parting, Lucy is definitely going to like head off to like fight like the phantoms and get revenge on like the phantoms from Debbie. It's definitely my passenger impression. So, like I'm interpreting like the scenario in which like Lucy would be like right now Lucy would be like bringing her novel and basically placing her novel right beside Levi and like Levi right now would be like I think like unconscious of sleeping like basically I'm separating like Lucy placing her novel right beside Levi and that novel would still be like unfinished. That's definitely my opinion. But yet like Lucy would be like from Lucy's point of view, Lucy would be the only thing that would be like more that she would be even able to do right now for her beloved friend Levi right now. So Lucy placing her unfinished novel right beside Levi so that like Levi once like Levi would be waking up, like Levi would be able to like read it and that way feel better. Uh, so like with that like I'm looking when Lucy placing that novel like everything she has written in her unfinished novel until that very day. Lucy Lucy to like place it right beside uh, right beside Levi and this right beside the sleeping Levi and like Lucy with like a fetus face like stepping out of like the hospital with that absolute determination to like get revenge and bring down like the phantom for Levi. It's definitely the scenario that I'm looking putting and my computer direction. And I'm also predicting like Lucy would be like extremely desperate to like find out who picks among like the Phantom's member, which was that had precisely injured Levi. It's definitely my particular impression, and I'm also preparing like to see like after once like macro and like the Paradise Pro will be like making it to like the base of like the Panthers. Like at that point, I'm also preparing like Lucy precisely shouting out and asking that the Panthers like as to like who injured Levi, and basically Lucy finding out that it was like precisely the work of like the gene, and basically I'm also preparing Lucy giving it her absolute everything and trying to like fight off against Gazil and I'm particularly like Lucy most likely getting some sort of like another power upgrade in that fight. Lucy would be fighting in like with like an extremely enraged Lucy and extremely serious like you never would have seen like extremely serious and enraged Lucy. With what I'm observing at that point would be fighting off against like Gachil and Lucy I'm preparing to get most likely bring out her uh, like a mermaid celestial spirit. Like Lucy would be extremely serious, and Lucy would be like fully aware that like her mermaid spirit is like her strongest spirit, and that was the thing. At that point, when Lucy would be calling out her mermaid spirit, like I'm considering even her mermaid spirit totally being able to like feel and sense that basically Lucy is not her in her usual self. Like Lucy is like extremely serious this time, and I'm considering like the mermaid self is totally respecting the emotions of like Lucy and seriously fighting alongside Lucy and not showing any attitude and totally listening to like Lucy. And considering the mermaid sells the spirit along with like Lucy fighting with all their might, but I'm also preferring and like initially I'm considering that could give a certain level of trouble to like even Gajil, but like I'm considering still eventually like Gajil totally scoring and defeating Lucy, like the scenario that I'm considering. And maybe at that point would be when I'm considering an Natsu Gajil fight happening. And even in that fight, like Gajil totally scoring and defeating Natsu. It's like it's like one possibility that I'm considering, or like in that fight, like Natsu totally maybe totally scoring and defeating Gajil. It's like the other possibility that I'm considering if like Nasu as well gets defeated by Gijin, then I'm also putting it would be like the surprise entrance of like Lax that at that point that would be precisely defeating Gijin is like the other possibility where I'm also putting I'm not looking to the yeah, so like definitely don't put into the right now. As for like losing actions alone at this game, the fairy tale kid are attacking like the face of like the fantasy skill. Like I'm just putting like definitely it will be friendly for like a delayed grand entrance of like Lucy. An extremely totally different Lucy. It will be like extremely serious and intense. Like I'm just putting like and I'm considering that like only happened and like at a later point as like the fight with the province and eventually even though currently like the parents are like crushing like the parents still like ambassadors still it being like only like the lower ranked fans, great number of lower ranked phantoms guild members is like will be like the relevant point, especially members of the remission, especially because of like the master of like the phantoms guild along with like the senior members of like the phantoms guild precisely missing at this precise time. Like I'm also bringing it to be precisely because of them all totally expecting, especially after like Gajil injuring Levi, like basically, like they all will be definitely expecting this like precise attack from like the perspective around this precise time as well, especially my position. So like they will be that will be the precise reason for like them precisely missing at the base of like uh, at the pace of like the finance will certainly not the finish. And they will be like really planning on showing up precisely at that precise profit time. Or like they would have probably set up a trap as well, precisely. It's also like separate trap as well. So for like the characters, it's also definitely members in the range. So like I'm also bring like macro and it's like through like basically that everyone like only crushing like the great number of like lower rank guild members uh, of like the panic skill, but like once like they would all be taken out, like at that point is when I was really talking like for the others to show up like for most likely like Gajil as well as like the maybe the master as well as Gajil as well as like the remaining like senior members of like the uh of like the panel guild that made my person the generation and in that fight I'm also departing like definitely the Purple guild like from that point like the whole tide of the battle is always changing and like the Purple guild like having serious trouble with like the scenario that I'm doing. Like, precisely because left of like the parents didn't being totally and fully prepared for such an attack from like the Purple guild. Like I'm just departing like things should not go as smoothly as expected for like the fairy tale skills right now. And they're only protecting like the fairy tale skills are only getting in trouble and eventually they're only getting in trouble with like the origin spine or like of like the or like the trap or like the treachery ways of fighting prepared because of like the fantasy being prepared like basically the fantasy getting into trouble that way. Like the scenario that I'm considering and that would be like precisely when things would be not looking so good for like the fantasy with and that point would be when I'm considering that ultimate delayed grand entrance of Lucy will be happening like an extremely enraged and serious Lucy like showing up and I'm considering the once like Lucy would be showing up, I'm considering the entire morale of like the surface and guild members like to which at that point might be like starting to like go around would be like once again greatly getting boosted with like Lucy's entrance like Lucy specifically being like the newest member of like the surface guild as well being like would be like and her showing all that courage and strength like show up to like the precise uh, Phantom's guild base all by herself. Like basically that would be like that courage of Lucy to be totally get be infectious to like the fairy tale guild and that totally increasing all of their collective morale and then those type of thing. Maybe Lucy straight away has to be showing up like straight away Lucy even saving like the fairy tale trap fairy tale guild members is also like a person scenario that I was preparing and basically then like the actual round two of like the fight will be beginning and once like Lucy will be showing up like definitely the fight show totally the tide of the battle totally changing with like Lucy showing up and then on public putting like the fairy tale skill like right now the bring like the fairy tale skill like totally destroy like the precise Phantom's Girl is like the scenario that I'm talking about everything and my theory and production and so like the fairy tale is getting that being able getting that their revenge and basically marching out of like the destroyed destroyed like Phantom's Gate with like uh, feeling victorious, like the scenario that I'm delivering. And I'm delivering by the time the fight would be over, like Natsu will be like totally crushing and destroying the entire Natsu will be totally ensuring to like leave the whole base of like the Phantom's Guild while while completely destroying like the base of like the Phantom's Guild, and that way getting a revenge for that as well. It's like the eventual scenario that I'm only putting and nothing to them. Okay, so like luckily the direction right now is that like Julia as well as Soul would be like these two characters would be definitely celestial spirit, definitely my personal direction. So like I'm considering what might have happened might have been definitely like their master might have either died or like their master might have either like celestial wizard master might have either died or like might have either abandoned her supplement of the rainbow. So like with them right now coincidentally appearing in front of like Lucy and so there's only something like without much delay like Lucy like them both like Soul as well as like Julia without much delay ending up being like Lucy's like newest two celestial spirit and they will be both like extremely strong regardless of like their especially my present generation. So like I'm putting Lucy like basically the sort situation being like totally favorable for like Lucy like the scenario that I'm putting. Lucy getting like two new exceptionally strong sensitive quins and like then like Lucy basically like even though Lucy currently is trying to take care of like Levi and look after Levi like I'm putting like Lucy still it's simply not feeling right for Lucy and basically Lucy like totally deciding to like basically that she needs to so like a personally remembering without much failure, Lucy come to the decision that she shouldn't be just like letting it slide and basically she should like get revenge on bring down like the phantom for lady and basically like Lucy looks like two new self-made like heading off to like friendly like the heading off to like the base of like the fandom. And before like Lucy would be leaving and like Levi and delivering Lucy precisely getting her notes and bringing her notes and basically placing it right beside Levi on her bed, beside of her bed, like the scenario that and they got it and Lucy setting off because like it simply wouldn't be feeling right for Lucy deep down that basically she like while Lucy would be trying her best to like let it slide the but like and that eventually resulting in like Lucy deciding that like no she should get revenge on like the parents and that way would be how like Lucy would be setting off and basically that would eventually resulting in like Lucy making that delayed grand enter precisely as like the master of the Phantom, like Joes, as well as like his element four, as well as like Gajil would be like proceeding according to the plan, and basically that way resulting in like the fairy tale being like trapped in like a trap like situation within like the base of like the Phantom. So it's like the scenario that I'm remembering. So like neither of them will be only expecting like Lucy to like show up, like basically another more guild members to like basically show up taken like a delayed manner. Like they might have according to their strategy, they might have like created like an enraged like with like Levi them injury Levi like they might have like created like the entire of like the fairy tale guild to like they show up together all at once in an enraged manner with that as your theory to infiltrating into like the phantom's base. So like that would be like with like Lucy showing up in a delayed manner. That would be totally like contrary to like their expectations that the strategies that they might have planned. So like that playing a major role. And then like Lucy showing up and basically Gajil basically uh, through the interaction like Gajil revealing to Lucy that basically he was the one that had Lucy most likely shouting out like all of them asking that basically who was it that tough Levi and basically Jajil totally playing the villain and basically Jajil totally revealed that was him and basically like Lucy and enraged Lucy like totally fighting Jajil but like Lucy like eventually totally being awkward by without much great struggle like Lucy still being awkward by Jajil and then maybe but still like Lucy might show up, like Lucy might actually uh, might somehow end up considering them maybe like would be when Kajil would be about to badly injure Lucy. At that point would be when I think maybe most likely like the team of like not only Laxus as well as Precision, but the remaining three like fairy tales senior fairy tales with members showing up. And at that point would be when right now considering like the entire tide and entire plan of strategies of those as well as like this like element form will all be like getting outsmarted at that point, with like them showing up like the element for like showing up along with like element for like showing up in like a delayed manner. So like to be like the element for of like the way of like it's like along with like Lactus and within and the remaining three mysterious underrated fairy type skill members, senior fairy tale skill members being even revealed. That's only at that point. It's like also next scenario that I'm delivering, and they are the remaining three fairy tale senior skill members will be like way more even stronger than Laxus as well as like Kristen as well. It's like also like a lot of development, and their combined strength will be like to prove too much for like Joss as well as like the element for uh, as well as Gaji. And basically it's that way like the fairy tale skill like basically defeating like like the Phantom skill that was like the scenario and getting revenge is like the scenario that I'm delivering right now. And once like the element for like the fairy tale skill would be like the bring to even show up to like the Phantom case in like a delayed manner. Like even at that point, I'm also preparing. Uh, Even at that point, I was preparing like them showing up and then also like in the course of fighting like them also like especially saving like the trap remaining fair things will know the long like macro. It's also like the scenario that I'm looking. So like collectively they will be like only on scoring and defeating or powering and defeating like the fan and corrupting like the man guild. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. And considering maybe the precise reason for like lacks of and I'm definitely sitting the members of the emotions that instead of like master macro revealing its like giant like powers and everything like even though master macro is like a little thing and all that like still definitely my personal impression that either Lactus would be on the same level of strength of at that of Macro, or definitely Lactus would be like even a bit more stronger than Macro. It's definitely never been. And as for like the remaining Underbill senior three members of like the three or two Underbill members of like the senior members of who they will pick, they will be a whole lot stronger than Macro. That my personal impression. So like together all of them like totally crushing the precise kind of build like the scenario that I'm developing and my and I'm delivering like them even showing up late like would be precisely a conscious decision. The this definitely also my personal because they would be them from their experience in like fighting like them fighting like this precise phantom skill like they might not only been able to like foresee basically that basically the phantom skill would be like only setting up a trap. So like essentially because of this reason they might have consciously decided to like not go along with like macro and the remaining army of like the predators then might have decided to like show up in like a delayed manner so that like they will be falling for the trap so that like they could like totally outsmart like the phantom skill is definitely my working very impression. So and my particular impression is that like the soldiers of like Laxus even showing up to like essentially definitely ambassador brings to show up to like the Phantom Guild space to precisely fight the Phantom. So like ambassador bring to this only like not to not due to them injuring Levy or anything like ambassador bring like the soldiers of Laxus showing up would be like precisely in like the heritage space like basically in the second floor in the top floor like Laxus will be having this like precious room and the different because of that precious room of like Laxus or like its precious belongings in like that room of like Laxus in like the fairy tale base on like the second floor or like the top floor that being like totally or that being like totally destroyed due to like the steel iron attack like basically that might be like the precise reason for like those different for like Naxos to be totally enraged and even further and to basically go to like the Phantom skill base and get revenge on the Phantom with also like a thousand killer and the thing and my position range. And that being the sole reason for like Lax is showing up to like the Phantom space to like fight the Phantom. Also like a positive that and also the ring and my position range. And also like according to my position ambition, I'm looking like not only for like the senior members of like the characters just alone being able to like foresee like the definite possibility of a trap set by like the Phantom Guild. Uh, but like it would be like not macro as well might have definitely been able to like copy the definite possibility of such a trap by set by like some kind of skill for like the fairy skill at that pace like but like I'm considering like still a macro deciding to like straight away go ahead with like Natsu and like the remaining fairy members straight away like recklessly infiltrate into like the case of like the kind of field might have been solely Master Macro even doing that might be solely due to like Master Macro or even deciding to like even risk that solely due to like him being extremely enraged because of like his children, his child basically maybe getting along with like the two other members along with like Levi of like the fairy tale like each of like, the members of like the fairy tale would be like Macro would be what a macro would be seeing as like the children and be extremely precious to like macro. So like uh, something not one, but like even if like a single member of like the fairy tale will like gets like stuff like it would be like totally painful for macro as like who will you see himself as the father of all this. So definitely members of the rainbow. So like see, the sight of like Levi along with like the two other fairy tale members being badly injured and almost unconscious might have probably extremely enraged and triggered like macro to the extreme that like macro didn't even care, might have not even cared at all of like a trap, a definite possible trap being present there that macro might have totally that like rest it all just to like might have totally lost the patience to like wait anymore and basically might have totally decided to like rest it all and basically to like use all of his strength and force to like ensure the destruction of like the pattern skill. Definitely my question to them. So get the soul reason for like macro along like even showing up straight away uh, along with like Natsu and the and that episode where they and storming their way recklessly into like the kind of weird definitely members of the impression. Okay, so like definitely members of the impression right now is that basically after something Levi like definitely like the parent guild might have probably been expecting like an attack from like the parent guild. So even after that, like basically the fact that like the master of those has sent basically two members of like the element for like even after that basically even after like basically like even like the even after like the fairy tale state has like charged in at according like things were happening according to like the plans of like the fan guild of like the fairy tale state, like charging into like the fan guild base and all that. Like even after that, basically the fact that like the master of those have sent out like essentially two members of like not one but two members of like the element force to like specifically targeting Lucy, precisely specifically targeting Lucy. I'm also trying to do the precisely because Lucy would be definitely extra special. Definitely my working grammar time. Lucy would be having like most likely I'm going to bring two possibilities. Like either Lucy would be like extra special, like Lucy would be having some sort of like an extra special hidden power within her, which Lucy might not be at all aware of. Definitely my working grammar. That coupled with like Lucy being like the daughter of Joe like the master of like the phantom master and one of like the WizardSaint of like the and like the master of like the phantom skills chose being like the father of Lucy is like one positive that I'm referring or like the other positive that I'm referring is would be like solely it would be solely due to like precisely Lucy right now being targeted be solely due to like uh Lucy being the daughter of Joss alone. It's definitely my positive so my personal theory embraces that like my personal theory embraces that like they way back in like the distant past, like even way back when Lucy was just a child, like even back then like they really Joss might have had like this extreme dislike towards like the fairy tales just even back then. It's definitely my personal theory embraces. And my personal theory embraces that like even back then like fairy tales might have like maintained the even that distant past like fairy tales might have maintained like the reckless behavior which is like reckless behavior and everything, and that way might have gaining a lot in like popularity, especially in the service. But like even from way back then, like basically, since my personal theory that Joes even from way back then might have been like having like ultimate goal to like eventually become one of like the wizard saints and basically for him to be like a master and basically start his own guild, wizard guild, might have been like the ultimate plan of him that he had. And way back then, like he might have totally I thought you might not only realize that Lucy has like a his daughter, like Joseph's daughter, Lucy has like a lot of potential and magical powers and talent lying within her. So like he might not only wanted Lucy to be like the best. You might have wanted to turn Lucy as into like the best, strongest member of like and be the main part of his like Wizard Guild once the Joe eventually starts his like Wizard Guild, which might have been like Joseph's plan. Eventual plan is definitely not the Emperor. So like I was for even back then, like Lucy might have been like a maybe like a fan of like the fairy tales guild. It's definitely my personal direction. So that might not only like disturbed and enraged like definitely Jones even way back then. It's definitely my personal direction. And those different like Joes might have been totally so that might have told Lucy back then and might have told and like might have totally forced Lucy and told Lucy that basically no, you are not going to ever go in like a guild like the fairy tale guild. Like eventually I'm going to start my own guild and at that point you will be like joining to my guild might be along the lines like Lucy's father like Joes might have totally forced Lucy's definitely not way back then. Definitely my so like and my cousin Jerry Ambrosius and like Lucy's mother might have totally because of like Joseph like killed fixed nature like and Lucy's mother might have totally left escape from Joseph and left with like Lucy. Maybe back when like Lucy was a child itself was definitely not the experience of her. So like Lucy might have only grew up with like her mother at some different location. So like even then like Lucy might have only maintained her extreme love for like the parents still it's definitely my personal embrace. So like I'm wondering eventually as like Lucy and it might be precisely eventually as like Lucy like might have only grew up with her mother and during this time might have been when like precisely Lucy's father, like Joe's might have made it to like the position of like being like one of like the wizard saints and might have even created his own wizard guild according to his plan. And that way, it might be during that time that the Phantom's Guild might have been born and created. It's definitely my book in the language. So, my book generation that it's still like the entire time, and Lucy might have been at the different location, like living with her mother, like still wanting to like grow up fast so that like Lucy could like basically go out and basically join that basically like the fairy tale kid might have been and while Lucy would be like dreaming about all this like Lucy might have been totally unaware of like the progress that Lucy's father Joseph might have been making is definitely not the impression. So my personal memory is that like then eventually once like Lucy ending up joining like the fairy tale guild and I'm remembering eventually as like the fairy tale guild was like making news by basically that repeatedly like obstructing like the villains goals of like the dark Hills and standing against like the dark Hills, stopping the dark Hills and basically like taking up all sorts of the guild missions and this is like even during the time like Lucy had joined like the Paradise Guild, like the Paradise Guild already had a lot of that thing. So like I'm considering that like every repeated missions and everything that Lucy might have had along with like the Natsu and the others and like the repeated time like Lucy had like sort of in like the part of it like basically stopping like the darkness and everything basically eventually like the word might have spread that basically of like this like newest member of like the fairy tale guild and basically being Lucy and all that. So that might be how eventually, like precisely, Joes might have found out about his daughter Lucy, that being part of like that surprise exact fairy tale skill, that surprise skill that Joes disliked the most. So basically, at that point, I'm just differing like Joes. From that point on, like Joes might have been like even more extremely enraged towards like the fairy tale skill that I'm just differing. Joes might have been planning from like the point when Joe might have heard of like his daughter like Lucy being part of the fairy tale guild, he might have only fixed in his mind to like basically destroy like the fairy tale guild, ensure that he destroys like the fairy tale guild, and that way and forcefully take Lucy and possibly make up a part of like Phantom's guild, and basically simultaneously that also to like prove to Lucy that like his Phantom's guild is like far stronger and superior and better than like the fairy tale guild and in everywhere and like regardless to only force Lucy into like forcing like the final skill and all that like George might have decided it's definitely my person and this much it's definitely my person theory and version after like why exactly right now basically like the element for like top element four members that two members of like the parents guild have came to all this like when even going through all this trouble to like even show up in front of like Lucy just to like just in front of Lucy is definitely my pick dream. So like right now, I'm considering them to like totally easily overpower Lucy and then select totally capture Lucy and basically and but then bring Lucy to like the precise guild phase, like the scenario that end of different kind of guild phase, like the scenario that end of different, and it will be only at that point once like Lucy would be got to like the fantasy guild that I'm going to bring like the entirety of like the fairy tale guild by then will be like getting defeated by then. It's like the scenario that I was in by like the element four of like the element four of like the uh, Phantom as well as like the master of Joes like Ambassador collectively they will be like totally overpowering and defeating like with through like the ultimate trap that they would have set up in like the base to precisely trap and defeat like the macro as well as like Natsu and others definitely members in the regulation and that way by the time like Lucy would be thrown by sword as well as like the other element of member like to like the first place of like the kind of like the captain skill members would have been totally they have gotten dropped and defeated, gotten trapped and would have gotten defeated successfully members in the ring. And it will be at once like Lucy is to drop to the base of like the random guild. It will be only at that point that like precisely the entirety of the relative will be like shockingly realizing that basically uh, that the Jones is actually like the father of Lucy, and Lucy as well really like only shocked once like on reaching like the base of like the panel, and basically on seeing like the uh, on seeing like Jones like at that point only will be when like even Lucy will be like shockingly realizing that like it's her father. It's definitely my book, the Revolution. So like